Well, hello. Right now, it's just me. Hopefully, we'll get a couple of guys to show up at some point. Looks like we're live, so that's good. So, I wonder if anyone's going to show up. We'll see. We actually forgot to announce that we were going to go live today because Matt had a holiday today. So, there's Mr. Goose.
Good
What's up,
evening.
Mr. Goose? Good
Not
evening.
too much. Got a real life game in today, which was nice.
Woo! My gosh,
Yeah.
when's the last time that's happened?
Well, it's been a few weeks, but I think I've had a couple of backyard games. This one was indoors, which was nice and different.
But the $1,000,000 question: did you win?
Yes,
And you didn't time out.
I
So
did
that's
not.
that's a bonus then.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just um, it was a very social game. It was I haven't really talked to my buddy for a while, so we were just talking for like 3 or 4 hours, but it's kind of like the game was kind of happening during the conversation.
So what else you been up to? You've been painting, I heard.
Yeah, I got the hills mostly done for the tournament, and then I found out that Ray Shields has like 5 tables of terrain and mats that he can bring down
Oh
if we
wow.
need it, but I don't think we will now. So
It's nice
it's
to be self-sufficient, really. It's really nice to
yeah,
be like,
so yeah, we have like 15 tables of terrain now, so we're pretty good. But also the Americans aren't coming over now because the
oh, because of
restrictions are just
the
too
borders. The
onerous.
borders haven't been lifted yet. Oh yeah, well you could go, but you have to have a vaccination
You
and
have to be
a
double vax negative test, double
ha-
vax, and a negative test that has
yeah.
been within the last 72 hours. And
Yeah.
everywhere in the Northeast is like there's a backlog. So it's like 5 to 6 days to get a test, like to get the results. So there's,
Yeah.
and I think some of them were saying it's like $150 just to get the test if you don't have symptoms. Like you're asymptomatic, they won't give you a test. You have to pay out of
Right.
pocket. So it's like
Right.
if you pay 150, if you're willing to pay $150, you may not even get the results in time to go. So no,
Yeah.
like it's too much of a gamble.
Yeah, I get it. It's weird because, well, I don't know. How are things COVID wise, in your area?
They're pretty good. Like we're flat to down since like basically early September.
Yeah,
Um,
we're about the same way, where I'm at, and um, I don't know. We're getting better. It looks like we're
the
coming out of
west,
it.
western provinces. Yeah, I think Alberta and BC, like Alberta especially, they lifted restrictions earlier than everyone else, but their numbers are like probably like 10 times higher than here. So it's like certain provinces are in trouble,
Right,
but
right.
things are pretty
So,
good here.
well, that's good. So, what army did you play today in your game?
Rats. I just gotta.
Just trying
Oh,
to
we're
dust them
live.
off.
Cool.
It's funny. I don't know. Like it's funny because I don't know about you, but like recently, I'm like I have the Michigan GT coming up next weekend, and I'm like, what do I want
Yeah.
to really play? I mean, do I really? It's 2,300 points. I was like, well, do I really want to play Kingdoms of Men? Yeah, I do, but I don't really have all the stuff I need to make
Yeah.
them really
That's kind of thing.
competitive. So I'm like,
I'm
all
like,
right, go ahead.
go be ogres, right? For you, because you can
Exactly.
make whatever list you want with those. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, okay, I know that the ogres are maybe not as competitive as they should be or could be, but I don't have a lot of practice. I haven't been playing as much as I should. So going back to an army where you just push it forward and smash people in the face, and if you lose, you lose. Kind of, it's sort of like going back to that like bowl of mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese. Just like you know what to do. I mean, you push it forward. You make sure you get the right charges when you need. Um, there's no finesse in that army. So the fact that I haven't played in a while or haven't been playing consistently, I shouldn't say I haven't been playing. I haven't been playing high level games consistently. I've been teaching a ton of people to play the game, right? But that doesn't help me, right? It helps me long term, but it doesn't help me in the short term. Did we lose you, Alex? Looks like you're locked up, maybe. Yep. So, well, while we wait for Alex back to join us, um, I actually did something interesting today. Are we live? Hey, we are. We have a viewer. Awesome. Uh, I actually, for the first time in a real long time, decided I got up this morning and decided I was going to paint. I was going to paint, and I haven't painted in a while, so I went from bare plastic to almost finished 2 hordes of siege breakers using the new Mantic models, and I will see if I can pull up a picture to share with you guys. So what I did, let's pull a picture here. Hopefully we'll get Alex back. Hopefully it's just a little trouble with the Canadian internet, maybe. All right, so let me share my screen here. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this. All right, so this is what I accomplished today, and what I've done is I basically cleaned up 12 Siegebreaker models. And so for those who don't know, those are the regular the bodies are the regular PVC ogre bodies, and then there's a resin head and a resin left and right arm. So basically, what I did was I had some bases that I had cast out of resin, so I pulled those out, cleaned them up, magnetized them, painted them. I took the 12 bodies, cleaned them up, washed them, primed them, painted them, and I painted them to a reasonable standard. I don't think it's uh I mean it's not going to win an award, but it certainly is, a little bit better than just straight tabletop. And then I started to paint the arms. So I should have these done tomorrow, which was pretty cool. It's been a long time since I've been able to knock out that many units that quickly. Now, to do that, you have to make some compromises. You're not there. You're not gonna win a golden demon with what you come out with. But I'm happy with the results. What I did was I did 4 regiments, and with 3 each. And they have, they're the real Siegebreaker kits. And then what I'm gonna do is, if I'm only running 2 Siegebreakers, well then I can put two of these 2 regiments together. If I want to run more, I will just stick these guys in the front and stick something else behind it. I have some siege breakers that I had made before they came out with the kit that have like giant double-handed weapons and shields, so I could stick those guys behind it. So theoretically, I think I'm comfortably going to be able to field 4 hordes of siege breakers now. So, anyways, it was interesting to knock that out so quickly. And we got 1 viewer. Let's see who. You got any comments? Let's just check. Stop that. Oh, there he is. We lost you for a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Internets. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're breaking up again. We may just be having bad internets tonight. Hey, I can hear it, sort of. Must be the weather. We're getting a little rain, and maybe that's causing your bad internet connections. So, all right. Well, we've got 1 person or 1 viewer. So if you got any comments, now would be the time. Hey, oh, look at that. We got Jeremy's joining the stream. Hey, Jeremy. We got Alex is like losing. Yeah, well, he's back.
Yeah, I'm
What's
back.
up, man?
Okay.
All right.
Turned off my other computer. See if that helps.
Exactly. So we're glad that the mystery man himself. We haven't seen him in a month, so it's good. We got the West Coast hero himself, Jeremy. What have you been up to, man?
Been in the laboratory working on all my secret projects. But it's been going good. Just like work is crazy. You know how you have those times where real life starts getting more busy. So, but yeah, how have you guys been?
Busy. Just been painting models. I think we're gonna lose Alex again. Yeah. just been busy painting models, trying to get ready for the Michigan GT next weekend.
Cool. Yeah, we have refugees coming up, not next week and the week after. So all ready to go do that's going to be cool. I didn't really have to do much to get ready for that, just some basing, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, we've only had like one viewer tonight, and I'm wondering if it's because of the massive game that's on right now, where Tom Brady and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers have went back into Foxborough to play his old team, the Patriots. That might be that might be the reason.
Tonight?
Yeah, that might be the reason. So we might cut this a little bit short tonight, but one thing we did want to bring you on is because we've had a little bit of a sabbatical. We've had a few weeks off here. We haven't had any episodes. It's not that we haven't recorded episodes, but you want to fill us in on what we're doing or what you're doing?
So we've been, as you guys know, Matt Crozier and I, some may know, but we were on the playtest group. So we got to work on the Clash of Kings pack. So him and I, along with some rules committee guys, some other playtesters, we've been recording and getting ready a bunch of episodes. So we're going to have our first one on next Wednesday, and we're going to be doing a Clash of Kings episode each week. And in our first episode, we have myself, Matt, and Kyle Pretzel Twinkie. And the sort of nugget, the juicy center of the episode is we go over our top 5 favorite things from the Clash of Kings pack. So tune in next Wednesday for that.
That's fantastic. So
and then following each Wednesday, we're going to have another. I don't want to spoil them, so you got to keep tuning in. So I'll give you what we're talking about in episode 1. But if you want to hear what's going to be in episode 2, tune into the next live show. But yeah, each Wednesday, we're going to have a different Clash of Kings 2022 themed episode coming out.
So and the first one drops on the 6th. Is that right?
Yeah. So this Wednesday.
This Wednesday,
I'm wrapping it up, getting it all nice and clean and smooth for you guys, and yeah, that's going to be out on Wednesday.
How's preparations for Refugees of the Old World going? You gonna be ready to go?
Good. I had Jeff mailed me my display board from Texas, so because I need a display board for Refugees. So this is going to be the first tournament that I've been in a while that it's not in Texas, which is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing, I just had to do a couple of the Elohi that were helping my spears. They've quit the spears, and now they're just back with the Elohi ranks. But I made them into regiments.
Yeah.
So I used to have a horde of Elohi. Now I have 2 regiments that can fit together and make a horde. So I just did some rebasing.
That's awesome. You've been getting any games in lately?
I played Tom on Friday night.
UB.
On UB.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing another sort of Clash playtest game, but I mean it's already passed, but we were still continuing our tests in that area. So,
well, awesome.
And he beat me. He was playing Northern Alliance, and I was playing Twilight Kin, and yeah, it was a good game. I found like it always. The first time I play UB after not playing UB for a while, I always feel like I'm only half focused. And then if I'm playing UB all the time, I feel it's easier for me to have the snap focus when I'm playing with real models. Like I could not play a game in person in a while and then play a game and not feel super rusty. But when I play UB, if I'm not in the habit of playing UB, and
the tools are all different, right? Yeah, you have all these special tools. Yeah,
I'm making mistakes or I'm not paying attention. So
no, I get it. Well, I'm excited. I got a tournament coming up. When's Refugees of the Old World?
So not next weekend, the weekend after. So
nice.
it's in 2 weeks. So
good.
Yeah,
I'm excited just to play an event. I haven't played in forever. So
what are you taking?
Ogres, actually. Just didn't feel like that my Kingdoms of Mindless had all the stuff. I'm still working on stuff for that, and so it just didn't have all the tools I wanted to be more efficient and more effective. So, what's more efficient than 4 hordes of siege breakers?
Yeah, not much, right?
Not much. So it also like gave me a wild hair at my butt to just like, hey, Sunday morning, let's wake up, let's open up 4 boxes of siege breakers and let's get them painted. So and I made I'm really close to being done. I just have the arms left, and I got the arms started. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. It's nice just to knock some stuff out. I have such a big backlog on everything that it's nice. I still have to do 2 boomer sergeants for my list that I'm running. So yeah, I'll have to find some time this week because I'm leaving on Friday to go up to Michigan for the event.
Is that next weekend?
No, it's this weekend.
It's this coming weekend.
It's this coming up weekend. Yeah. So
and you're gonna go to see your mom and stuff too.
Exactly. I'm just gonna stay. I'm just gonna take my. So it's gonna basically be a small family vacation, and we'll hang out there, and then I'll go do my thing, and then I'm gonna stay like a part into next week, the following week. So
cool.
Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, I'm excited about just getting some stuff back to the table painting. I haven't painted in 5 months. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's been a long time, and you know how you get like nothing's perfect, like your room is like messed up and it's not clean, and I'm like real anal about that, and it's like it's just a disaster. Well, I finally just said screw it. I just got to do it. So I just sat down and just did it, and just pushed through it.
Yeah, have that nice workspace.
Yeah. When it's not covered in stuff, it's like
yeah, we did like a full house clean day too, and I was having that where it was like there was just enough junk on my paint table where I was like, should I paint? And I look over and it's like, no, there's so much crap over there, and then I don't do it. Right? You can't have it be at that threshold.
I know. I just have too much shit. That's what it is.
It's just too much stuff, man. Like I just am like. I sold some comic books on eBay this weekend. I was just like, nothing crazy, but I was like, you know what? I need to start cycling out some of the stuff that I've read or that I don't, just space wise.
Right.
I started looking at like climate controlled storage units. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do that. I'll put all my comics in like a storage unit.
That's where we draw the line when you have to start paying for additional storage.
That's what I'm saying. That means like I gotta make other life choices, but.
Yeah. Well, I've got to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so I've been feeling kind of like not super hobby funk, but sort of like I'm so excited to do all the new COC 2022 stuff that until that's out, some of my excitement is about that stuff, which you can't really talk about yet. So but then it's like I finally today got my paint set up and like are going to sit down and actually do some painting tonight.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully I'll finish up these 4 regiments of ogres, siege breakers. I'll finish up a couple of boomer sergeants this week. Maybe I'll throw a couple more things in and just I should paint up start painting the warband for Vanguard. I have all the ogre characters, boomer sergeant, the matriarch, and bully.
Do you know when you guys are going to do another event at War Room?
We're going to do another Vanguard League pretty soon. I think, I know Dead Zone's all the rage right now or getting ready to be all the rage. But the reality is, I'll be honest with you, until Mantic can prove that they can deliver product, we're not going to commit to anything.
Yeah.
So, and we've had another rash of just really horrible quality control. Like I'm at a point now, I don't think I'm going to buy more Mantic stuff until they figure out what the hell they're doing. Because it's just like it's a kick in the balls, man. You buy it and it's like, every single box you buy, there's something wrong. It's like, dude, I get shit happens and every once in a while you have to get something fixed. But 50% of the boxes, come on, bro. And it happens the worst on the new stuff. Yeah, and it's the worst on the new stuff.
So is it like in there? Is it just in like the plastic kits, or is it just in the resin kits, or is it like is there any rhyme or reason to what?
It feels like it's mostly the resin kits. Okay. I have some stuff with the Lizardmen and some stuff with Armada,
like missing pieces or broken,
or
pieces
2 left arms instead of a left and a right.
Got it.
It's just like, dude, you guys have got to grow up, man. And so really, until I hear that they've actually figured this shit out, I'm not going to buy any more Mantic stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but I have. Well, to be fair, I also have plenty of Mantic stuff.
Maybe that's a blessing in disguise. Like you try to paint some of the stuff. Like that's what I've tried to do. Is like I have my my project that I started after this Masters, which is going, but I need to turn up the pace a little bit. But beyond that, I'm trying to not buy what the project's going to be after the project that I'm doing now. Like keep it the one project at a time so that I don't like start stockpiling like so much stuff. I'm trying to do that.
We didn't talk about the big news that happened this week, though. Now that I think about it, there was a big piece of news that came out this week.
Where?
U.S. Master venues.
Oh yeah, the Pacific Northwest is gonna be
Seattle.
hosting
Yeah,
the
so we're
gonna
hosting
be
the U.S.
Masters.
Masters for 2021. Will be in July in Seattle. So that's
Yeah.
congratulations to Ryan and Dan and those guys. They put a great bid together, and 62, was the vote region. So 6 regions to 2. So and I think that demonstrates the strength of their bid.
Yeah,
That they had that many people, because it's unusual for that many. I don't think we've ever had 62.
yeah.
And
I think it shows that Ryan really tried to their chair in past failed bids be like, what do you guys really listen to what people wanted, and really talk to players. And I think that bid really spoke to a lot of thinking about how can we make this like a really great experience for everyone.
Right.
So
exactly.
um
So yeah, I'm real excited. I've been thinking about how if we're gonna go, I'm definitely gonna go, but how am I gonna get there?
all I can say is the fact that many of the West players get to drive. Wait till you see some of the shit that's being built. It's gonna be. Oh man, I'm not.
Well, they got to make the team, but they got to make the team first, right?
They do.
Well,
but
there's
I'm
a best
just
for West
saying-
tournament though too. So
Yeah,
even if they didn't make the team,
I'm just saying. There's.
that's funny.
Um,
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. So what? Go ahead.
You know what I've been thinking like more and more that I would really like to do at some point is, and I think I want to get it one just so that if I ever, when I come out to visit you guys or whatever, I've been seeing a little bit more of like the 10 millimeter models have just been like popping up in my searches or whatever. So I think a part of me really wants to have a 10 millimeter scale Kings of War army. So I might start thinking about that.
So let me ask you this: Are you going to play it as 28 millimeter with 10 millimeter, or are you going to build a 10 millimeter army to play as 10 millimeter? Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
Yeah, it would be to play it in the 10 millimeter game.
Yeah, okay.
So not playing it in like the normal, like like against regular size models.
Yeah, there's been people that have done that too, and it looks awesome.
No,
like they have the regular size base, and then it's just a ton of dudes.
I'm talking about building it to play like an epic style.
Yeah,
game.
I'm excited to dust that off. Right now we're on track for next NashCon to have a massive battle, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, and I want to get my, I have been working a little bit more on my Armada stuff. So I want to get a functional Armada because I haven't even had a chance to play that game yet, Rob. I've read through the book.
Oh my gosh, we're almost a year. Again, almost a year, man.
That's the desert that I'm,
It's funny. We're planning on doing we were planning on doing a league for Armada, but we couldn't get the critical mass there, So we're gonna fall
like
back.
how many people? What is like?
We had like 4 people that wanted to really play.
Okay, and you really need it so that if 1 or 2 people don't show up, you still have a couple.
We'd like to have 10 or 12, so like 8 show up. There's still enough there to play the games. So that's why we're gonna probably end up going back to Vanguard and playing some because the Vanguard 1.0 or I guess it's 2.0. I'm not sure. The upgraded book that just came out with everything put it all in one book and all of the updates came out not too long ago.
Okay.
So it'll be nice to play with those updates and stuff. So yeah, and it gives us an excuse to paint some more Vanguard models.
Yeah. But what did you think about? Did you get the Rhinosaurs? You got the.
I did. Rhinosaurs are great.
Have you
actually? I haven't put them there yet. I maybe like 3 weeks ago I was like, oh, I'm gonna start working on my Salamander army, and then I was like, am I? Or maybe I should. Am I? Or should I work on the freaking giant Night Stalker army that's all put together ready to be painted, or the Goblin army that's all put together ready to be painted, or finish up all the ogres that I have to be painted, or maybe I should finish my Kingdoms of Men. It's like I got too much stuff on the go, and there's just too much stuff. Yeah, and I need to start buckling down and just like I don't know. I really what I need to do is make a schedule, like and what I did today, where I like literally woke up this morning at like 7:30, went up, washed some models, cleaned them up, primed them, and just sat down and watched football and painted the whole day. I might start doing that on every Sunday. Just do it. Yeah. Just be like, all right, every Sunday, let's get a unit done.
Yeah. be like this. You have a plan, and it's not like sitting down for 20 minutes and then being like, "Oh crap, I got to go do this other."
But
thing.
you know, it was also nice the fact that I had that tournament coming up, and I wanted to run 4 Siegebreaker hordes. So there was an incentive to get. I mean, I have my old Siegebreakers that I made, but I also have boxes of the new Siegebreakers. So it was kind of like a nice little incentive. Like, hey, let's get them done. Let's finish them. Let's get them out there on the table.
Yeah, Brenton.
And go ahead.
Sorry, Brenton is picking up a old Dark Elf painted Warhammer Fantasy army, just to have as like a backup army and plus like a clubs type army. And I think we're gonna rebase it up or do it up as a Kings of War army. So I may be able to borrow that. So at least I can start playing Twilightkin, in the season before as I'm painting up my own army that I want to debut at Masters. So
2022, you'll make it if you just keep on your current.
Well, and I was curious.
You'll make it to 2022.
What you thought about as far as like, in wanting to play more armies and realizing that I'm probably gonna maybe get faster, but let's be realistic. I paint at the speed that I paint. Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about maybe just keeping my eye open and picking up like a reasonably painted old fantasy army, and then just break really cool multi-bases, slap them on, do some cleanup, and then I have a whole nother army. I have a whole nother army I can play. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a great idea because I think, I'm the type of person that I like different. First of all, from a painting standpoint, I like both the really fast paint jobs and the really articulate, long, those ones as well. And I like to alternate back and forth, but also, and so that would give you an outlet to, hey, let's just get this thing on the table. But also, I am a person that's got a bunch of armies, and so being able to quickly decide on the fly, oh, I'm playing ogres tonight, oh, I'm playing goblins tonight, I'm playing empires tonight, and being able to change like week to week has been super fun because you don't get bored of it.
And that's what I think. I'm just like not bored, but I think I've just played with the same army for so long that not only I want to work on my new I want to if it's like if you're the 2 coins to your hobby is you have your boutique project that you're working on, right? That's super whatever, but then also trying to find ways to just get stuff done and be okay with having it done. That's not at the my like studio quality that I'm trying like my best, and I haven't figured out how to be able to just pick up a project and be like, oh, I just want it to be solid, and then just do it. I'm always like trying to make it like each thing that much better.
100%. And well, let me say this. I think there's something to be said with like even when you are not going to your best standard, there's a it's fun all to itself when you can find new ways to paint quicker. Like my ogres, I started those ogres back in 2016 on a what do we call that thing? Countercharge war. What is it? Kings of War army in a weekend. So I painted 1,000 points up. Well, those ogres are okay, but like the ogres I painted today are a lot better, right? Because I've been painting them off and on for 5 years, and so you get the techniques down, right? Like where you learn where you can shave a corner. Like, for example, when I first started, having fun and being okay with. So this is a good comment from Chuck. Just having fun and being okay with this. Yeah, for sure. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And also, if you're going to a tournament or something that has the rubric, a tabletop paint army will get you most of the points. And that's,
like what I'm saying is I feel like I need to get like if I picked up, or did if I make the army that as long as you're still winning 4 games or 5 games, it's good. It's good enough. To
be like in top 5. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's not going to punish you, but at least it's good enough to where it's not hurting you.
Exactly.
Now, what do you think about picking if you were going to say, okay, this project I want to be a speed project, or it's going to be a fast project? Then is that going to influence you in like what actual army you want to do? Like to me, it's like I want to do a speed project. Oh, dwarves are really tiny and have lots of armor. What do you think about trying to pick something that lends itself to fast?
Well, I mean, the obvious thing is if you pick elite versus horde, right? If you pick the elite army, you'll be faster, right?
Yeah,
But like,
that is
you know,
true.
I don't know that that's necessarily totally true because, you know, like today I knocked out basically 12 ogres, right? But, you know, there's a lot of freaking straps on those things.
Yeah.
So, and they're bigger. So you end up spending more effort on the bigger model. So I don't know. I mean, to be
No.
fair, my first goblin army was a GW like Skull Pass army, and it's huge. It's ginormous, 1,000, you know, I don't know, 500 models, and I speed painted it. And you know, retrospect, yeah, you probably don't really want to speed. Well, well, I think if you wanted the best speed paint army, you pick an elite army. But my weirdness or my crazy idea was, well, I'm never really going to want to sit down and legitimately paint a horde army, but like you know, to a high standard because it's just take too damn long, right? So you know, let's speed paint it. You know,
so that makes a good point, right? Because you're like, I'm never going to want to do this to my top ability anyway because it would take so long. So I might as well have this one be my one that's going to be fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, I have my dwarves that I painted that I sold most of them, but I have a few left. That one Skull of Thrones. I don't know if you guys know GW.
Are those the orange beards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the orange beards and stuff.
Yeah,
So I have
like that
those
army.
painted a pretty high standard.
Yeah.
Then I have the Kingdoms of Men army. I also have a Warriors of Chaos army that's never seen the light of day that's painted to a pretty high standard. And I have a Tomb King army that's really big. That like I would say 3,000 or 4,000 are painted to a pretty high standard. And so, but then other than that, you know, I've got orcs that were painted pretty fast, goblins.
Yeah.
My undead. I mean, I undead like my Mantic undead army. I painted in a weekend. I just use a lot of neutral tones and just a lot of washes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like right now, I'm enjoying the ogres because the ogres are interesting because you can speed paint them, but then you can go back and add more detail if you want.
Yeah.
Right. So you can. It's all about like, do you want to put the effort in? Cool. I didn't want to today. So I mean, I put just a few highlights.
Yeah, and I think that's some of their coolest models too. If you want to use Mantic stuff, a lot of their ogres are just like the Boomer Sergeant. That's
super awesome. I just hate.
Cool
I was ranting last week. I just hate the metal models so much. So Adrian Sky has a good comment. And he says, "Hey, you painted 3,000 Mantic points of Mantic dwarves this year. Man, that's a lot of dwarves." Yep, for sure. You know, when I was painting my dwarves, one of the things that I did to make them stand out is I looked at what everybody else did and I did the opposite. So, you know, when you saw a lot of like steel, right, or iron color, I went with more bronzy, goldy color for the armor. And when you went with a lot of like blacks and browns and blonde beards, my whole army is orange beards, except for just a few characters that have white beards. But everybody else has got, you know, and it was called Clan Blazing Beard. I'll have to at some point. I'll have to show some pictures. It's pretty cool. You know, there's some serious, some really serious conversion work and some sculpting and stuff. A lot of like,
yeah, I like that army. It's a good looking army.
Yeah, but you know, at this point though, I legitimately sold most of it because I don't know about you, but like looking at an army that's not based and it's all individually based. It's not a Kings of War army. It's a Warhammer army. And I just don't really ever feel compelled to, number one, paint stuff to that standard to make it become a Kings of War army.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at my display case. I also have a Narnia army that I did that's wood elves, but I mixed in some beastmen. So
cool.
it's a little got like satyrs. Then I've got like a Mr. Thomas model, and I'll have to take some pictures. But like, you know, again, I have 1,000 points of those that I built it for a team event. I'm not going to use it in a Kings of War event. Like it just doesn't. I don't know.
Now,
go ahead.
The room in your house are you in like your garage, or talk to me about your
my messy room,
your bat cave? Tell me
where is your bat cave? This is the bat cave. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a room that is above the garage.
Okay.
And so it's basically I'll have to do like a legitimate room tour at some point. But you can see the wooden table that I built here. That's the gaming table, which right now is covered in all kinds of crap. And then I built bookshelves along the wall back here. You can just see them that hold tons of models and books and games. And there's a couple of Detloff cases all the way over there.
Yeah.
And then what you can't see from this angle is to the right of the window is the paint station.
Got it.
So basically, from where I'm sitting, just straight down there is the paint station.
Cool.
But I'll have to do a legitimate room tour at some point.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
But I need to clean it up because it's ridiculous. Because it's just like been pile of crap.
You got it. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so I don't know. It was nice to get some brushes out and start whipping some paint down.
Cool.
And actually, you know what? Here's what I hate. I hate like that first hour when you're painting, where you haven't made any progress, and you're like, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah.
God, this sucks. But like literally, like the ogres are like prime gray, base coated the flesh with a specific gray, paint the armor and the weapons a specific metallic color, stop, wash the whole thing with a mix between Nolan Oil and Druchii Violet, 50-50.
Yeah.
And then like once you get past that step, it's like it pops. Like it becomes real because like, okay, at that point the model, like it has some definition, it's got some shading, now I can add the spot colors like the blues and the pinks and the purples. And so then it like, you know what I mean? Like it's
whenever you first start, like I just hate base coating so much. It's just like there's element where it feels it's more like you just have to like push yourself through that. And then you get past this and it's almost like that's the black and white in the beginning of Wizard of Oz. And then once you get to that level, it's like Technicolor. So it's like you just got to force yourself to just get through that first part.
Yeah, I just like ground. I mean, I'm only doing 12 guys, right? It doesn't sound like a lot. But like, you're painting the flesh, you're painting, the toenails and the damn ogres do have a lot of straps. I'm not going to lie. They have a lot of straps and a lot of loincloths and stuff that you got to paint. So, but once you get to that point, that's the fun stuff because you're like, oh, purples and pinks and blues and you get to,
it's like your reward. It's like
it is.
You know what I mean?
Well, and the real reward is when you get to base them. So like the way I'm doing these guys is a little bit different. I didn't assemble the model. I took the body, painted it, painted the head, painted the arms all separately, glued, and then assembled them after the fact. But once you get to mount the model to the base, then it's like, oh, it's legitimately now I can play with it. Even if it's not done, it's like, oh, yeah, it's a unit at this point. So, Chuck makes a good comment here about speed painting. Speed is, if you're a perfectionist, like there's times where I feel like I'm a perfectionist, it screws you up. It just makes me mad, right? You're just like, and like today I noticed like, oh yeah, I missed that. But here's, there was something that one of the UK guys, who's the great UK painter, Kings of War.
There's
I can't believe I'm spacing on his name.
Paul Welsh and Christopher Walsh.
Yeah. One of the things he said was great. He's like, put all the units together and then add the highlights, like after the fact. Because if you no point of highlighting something nobody's going to see, right? And so, like on this one, that's
It makes sense when you say that, but not. But doing it is hard.
For my Kingdoms of Men, I'm like, yeah, I know you're not going to see the strap on the back of the leg, but I'm going to paint it, and it's going to be legit.
Yep.
But on this one, I certainly will, after the whole unit's assembled and everything, all the arms are on, I'll go back and maybe add some, maybe a third highlight just on spots that are actually really visible.
Yeah, good point.
And he mentioned a, contrast point. To be honest with you, I have not had any luck with contrast paints, and I think it's for me. It's just that I'm too old to learn a new trick. I guess I tried both the Instacolor stuff from Scale 75, garbage for me, and I've tried the GW contrast paints, and I can see if you have the specific colors. There are certain colors that work well, and there's certain colors that are garbage. So I don't know. The Instacolor stuff for me was just too thin, so I gave those away. And the GW stuff, I might try that again, but I just don't know if I have the patience, to like, another reason why the day went so well today. I painted these things 100 times. I know the colors.
Yeah.
Like I know they're right there. I don't have to like, but like what I really hate is that when you're trying to find that color scheme, I hate that. Like you're trying. Oh, I'm gonna try this color. I'm gonna try this color, and then you paint something. And you're like, it sort of works, but not quite. That's the worst.
That's the hardest part. Like paint, like doing test models and choosing colors. Like when you're trying to come up with your own scheme, is like really tough to do. Sometimes you just get lucky and just land on it like right away, and then some I spend weeks.
Well, so when I've hit the jackpot, really it's because I leaned heavily into the triads with the Reaper triads. So like the ogres, basically I had done the same color scheme with a Warriors of Chaos army, and it's just like grays, purples, pinks, and blues. Very little pink, but mostly blues and purple. But the thing is, each of them has a triad, and they're all in that same desaturated level, I guess is the best way to say it. So they're very almost neutral, and they work.
Cool. Yeah, I love those.
Anyways,
paints.
They're amazing. They're amazing. I need to order a restock, at some point. But what else is on your? What else do you want to chat about? I know we kind of, we chatted about the fact that Seattle's going to be hosting the U.S. Masters next year in July. We got Michigan GG coming up weekend, and the Refugees Galore World is a weekend from Friday. A week from Friday. It's exciting.
Yeah, lots of stuff on the docket. Kyle Timberlake's having a one-day tournament next weekend, at like some sort of mini, more like I think historical convention.
HMGS, Historical Convention Gaming Society. Yeah.
But they're going to do a King's War event.
Fullerton, California. Where I used to my old stomping grounds. I used to live in Brea.
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to go, but I have to go. I'm going to Refugees the next weekend, and it's just like too much back.
It's funny. The older you get, like I remember a distinct conversation where I was picking on somebody when I was like 25. And I was going to Brookhurst Hobbies in Southern California, and I remember that I was sort of picking on people that, oh my God, how come you don't have your stuff painted? Oh, and they were like, and it was older dude. He's like, well, I have a family, I have a job, and I didn't know, I was just a little twerp, right? I didn't, but now that the roles are reversed, and I'm in that thing, and I'm like, hey, I get it. Yeah, for sure, Chuck. We're all going to be there. In fact, we're bringing a big crowd from Memphis because it's moved.
So in January. King of Monsters is January.
It's moved from Texarkana to Batesville. So, because Dylan Scribner, who runs the event, he's moved from Texarkana to Batesville. And so, for those geographically challenged, Texarkana is on the Texas border. Memphis is on the opposite side of the state. Like, it's in Tennessee, but it's on the Tennessee-Arkansas border. Batesville is maybe 2.5 hours from Memphis, whereas Texarkana is like 4.5 hours. So it's closer to us. It's a couple hours closer to us, and a couple.
Oh yeah,
hours.
that's not. I'm looking at a map right now. That's not very far from you at all.
No, we've played in Batesville before, at various pickup games and stuff. So yeah, we would do that for a one day. So we're excited. So we'll probably have a good following of new players that we've been indoctrinating into the game. So.
And then are you guys going to do, I guess you just did it, so not anytime soon, but another Kings of War tournament at War Room?
We will do another Kings of Memphis. Obviously with the Masters this year, it was hosted on the 7th. We did it like July 31st with once we nail down all the Seattle stuff, and I know exactly when that is and when we're leaving, we will have an event before probably the Masters. But yeah,
and will you come to Masters, you think?
Oh, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. The thing is, we'll have to fly because I was looking at 34-hour drive is a bit much from even me. I was like, yeah.
Well, if there's anything you need, you can always ship it to me, and then I'll take it with me if you need stuff.
Yeah, from a podcast gear, I was thinking about that, but we can also reach out to the Dimensional Cascade guys. They've said before that they've got some gear that we could use. I mean, realistically,
I'm driving, so
realistically, I can pack the mixer in my bag. As long as I have some XLR mics, at the end of the day, that's all I really need. The mixer's got everything else. So, but yeah, we'll work out those details. I'm definitely, like I said, definitely got to fly because even though I think it would be fun to drive maybe because you get to go over the Rocky Mountains, but
well, I'm excited because and I know it's close because now it means as far as the best of the rest tournament, there are actually a bunch of people I think who are on the borderline of kind of not knowing if they want to get in the tournament Kings of War within West, so and North and Pacific Northwest. So I think it's going to be a great marketing for new players, and then having the best of the rest tournament. I think it's going to be a really good community building to have it up there.
agreed.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it's time, right? It's just
Yeah.
time. Like we've been talking about this for, I mean, for those who don't remember the history, we the fantasy championship started off as Warhammer. 2 years were in the Mid Atlantic, 1 year was in the West Coast, and then we switched to Kings of War, and then we came out of the gates in Nashville, right? Nashville was the first one, then Chicago, then San Antonio, then New York, then
Dallas,
Dallas,
or
because right, and then
yeah.
Seattle. So and one of the things we're real keen on is to have all regions that want to host get their shot. As long as it's legitimately a good bid, right? Like, I mean, if they don't have their act together, I get why they would miss out. But if you got your act together and you want to host, by all means, you should get the opportunity.
Yeah. So it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be great for them. It's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. I know a bunch of the Reno crew, not only those who qualify, but a bunch of those guys will want to go play in the best of the rest tournament. Same thing with the SoCal guys. So yeah. Hello?
It helps when I don't unmute myself.
Oh,
yeah,
I was like,
I see Chuck's comment about painting in the evening is how I relax as much as possible.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, yes, I like it. Kind of like lets me zone out a little bit, right? But it doesn't necessarily let me relax because I'm still stressing. Like, let's get these base coats down. Let's get this wash applied.
I'm like, oh, I'm making this belt buckle really cool without these little scratches, and then I'm like, why are you so slow?
Yeah. Well, there's times when you are doing that, where you're like, okay, I've spent 2 evenings on one model, and you're like, okay, guy, at some point,
eventually you gotta just be like, it's done. I can't
exactly
stop because you could paint it forever. At some point, you got to say this is done.
But the worst though is when I start a model and I think I have a good idea and it's just not materializing like I want, and I have to make the decision. All right, it's time to strip the model. Like, that's the worst because I hate repainting stuff. I hate it.
That makes me just want to quit painting altogether sometimes. It's like, what am I even doing? I suck so bad. Why do we even try? And then it's like,
right. Yep. Adrian says the same thing. He uses evening painting sessions to relax. I mean, I get it. It's cool. Especially, I'm relaxed when I know what I'm doing and like have a color scheme picked out, and it's just sort of like paint my numbers at that point, like it's on autopilot.
Yeah.
But I'm not relaxed when I'm trying to like convert something, or I'm trying to like, still fun, but not relaxing. So, yeah. Well, I guess we can call it a little early this
Tune in on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
be exciting.
October 6th, the first of 4 Clash of Kings episodes drops.
All month
long. I can guarantee well, I'll just say this: if you miss it, you're really missing out.
Gonna be some cool. Each episode has some juicy centers,
nuggets of knowledge.
Yeah,
nuggets of knowledge.
You never know who's gonna say what at any given moment.
Well, you want to take us out, Jeremy?
Okay, remember, always keep counter charging.
Bye, everybody.